Hi. When Christians try to figure out why everybody doesn't rush to become a servant of their particular gods or any other god, they come up with some interesting ideas. I think the craziest one I've heard is what I'm about to talk about. A while back, a Christian was saying she didn't understand how someone could look at nature and think it all happened by chance. And another wrote, I think some people just don't want to be held accountable for what they do, and so they deny there is anyone to whom they will be held accountable. This kind of blows my mind. This person seems to think that you can deny something and it'll go away. Deny gravity and you can't fall down. Deny that you told a lie and you didn't. Deny that you cheated on your spouse or a test and poof, your cheating evaporates into thin air. Did you know that Christians were that unaware of how things work? I thought they at least understood that we can't just wish something away. Sure, they think you can pray away the gay, but I didn't think they thought you could wish it away. But then I got to thinking about it, and maybe it makes sense. If you think a man can walk on water or turn water to wine, if you think a man can rise from the dead or raise others from the dead, if you think a virgin can give birth because some golden shower that rains down from the sky god fell upon her, then it's logical that you might think wishing can make something happen, make something disappear. So it makes sense that you'd think atheists would think the way you do about it. And honestly, now that they've brought it up and suggested that atheists might think that way, well, obviously it does make one wonder about whether they might think that way themselves. After all, their book says that if they only believe, all things are possible. Their book says they can say to a mountain, be thou removed, and it'll fall into the sea. Mark 11:23 in the WEB, for most assuredly I tell you, whoever may tell this mountain, be taken up and cast into the sea, and doesn't doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says is happening, he shall have whatever he says. In June of 1984, we lived in a house that was on the side of a hill. We had a deck out back and a small path behind the house where I hung clothes to dry, but the rest of the yard was hillside. My boys played on the deck or on the hill. We had a small flat front yard, but it was too close to the street for me to allow the boys to play there. I wanted that hill gone, and I remember this passage in the Bible. Now, I wasn't stupid enough to believe I could just tell the mountain to move and it would obey me. Even as a Christian, I subconsciously knew, whether I admitted it to myself or not, that the Bible was full of lies. Anyway, I said to myself, you can't expect God to move the mountain. You have to do it yourself. Pray like it all depends on God and work like it all depends on you. Well, so, while my boys played, I took a hoe and began moving the mountain. My husband was working away from home that week, and I got a lot done, working every day on that hill. When he came home and saw what I'd done, he said, what am I supposed to do with all that dirt? And I said, if I can move a mountain, you can figure out how to haul it away. I don't remember what he did with the dirt, and I gave up on moving the mountain. But my husband did make some dirt steps for the boys so they could get up on the hill easier. By the way, I was 6 months pregnant with my first daughter at the time. When pregnant, I tended to get a little crazier than usual. These words of Jesus about moving a mountain, said in reference to the fig tree that Jesus cursed and killed, were said in reference to this. He wanted something to eat, and maybe he didn't know it wasn't fig time, or he just had a conniption fit because he was hangry. But for whatever reason, he was like, you stupid fig tree. You won't give me figs when I'm hungry. I'll fix you. I'll make sure that you never feed anybody else ever again. How do you like them apples? Jesus had a little bit of his dad in him. He would probably have been better off if he'd taken after his mom, but, we all have to deal with the bad qualities we get from our parents, I guess. Anyway, Honestly, who would be more likely to think that wishes bring about facts? Would Christians or atheists be more likely to believe that a man flew up into heaven in a fiery chariot? Would Christians or atheists be more likely to believe a man can fly through space on a white horse and everybody on the earth can see him arriving at the same time? Who would believe you could wish something away? Would it be an atheist who searches for truth? An atheist who needs facts and evidence before he starts spouting words from ancient documents? Or would it be Christians who actually believe these weird documents that were put together and handed down to us by people who we don't know and shouldn't trust? Documents, by the way, that present a story far more magical than wishing away something. Would it be atheists who don't believe in magical thinking? Or would it be Christians who actually do believe in magical thinking? Well, we know it was Christians who suggested this as a reason atheists don't believe. They propose that atheists don't want to be accountable to anyone. Therefore, atheists pretend no one exists to whom they must be accountable. And voila! An overlord or master or God apparently disappears. I know Christians are strong adherents to belief in magical curses and spells. So yeah, when I think about it, I guess it makes sense that they might think that denying something would make it go away. After all, they deny reality, and for them it goes away. And their God told them that if they basically deny a mountain, it'll go away. So why not a God? I wish I could make things go away by denying their existence. That'd probably mean I could make things appear by wishing them into existence. But alas, that's not how life works. Christians, of course, live in an unnatural world of their own. So it's hard to tell them what they might come up with. But if any Christians are watching or reading this, please listen. You cannot bring something into existence by wishing for it. And you can't make it go away by wishing it away or denying it. You can't click your heels together 3 times and be home. And you can't clap your hands and say, I believe, I believe, I believe, and help Tinkerbell come back to life. That's not how the world works. Now, don't get me wrong, I really don't think Christians, most of them anyway, and even the person who wrote this, think wishing can bring things into being or make them disappear. They might make a wish on a star or make a wish when they blow out candles, but just like the rest of us, I believe they know it's just for fun. They also know that despite the words of Jesus, they can't tell a mountain to fall into the sea and make it happen. But apparently they don't think atheists know that. They, if they're watching or reading this, probably would be insulted that I even suggested that they might have the belief that wishing can bring about anything. Prayer, yes, but not wishing. Yet it seems they think atheists are gullible enough to believe wishes make things happen. And they're willing to insult atheists by making this claim. They feel comfortable suggesting that their family members, friends, and acquaintances are just that ignorant. And they don't even realize what an insult it is. I don't think you're that ignorant or childlike in your thinking, Christian. Yet you want to put that on atheists. You want to act like atheists really are that ignorant and delusional. And I have to wonder why. Does it strengthen your faith to think that atheists are completely naive, enough so that they think they can wish away a God? Do you feel more sure of your own thinking if you can pretend atheists can't think at all? Or do you just conjure up anything you can to try to make atheists look bad? Whatever it is, if you can't do better than to suggest that atheists think they can wish away your God and then not be accountable, then you don't have much understanding at all about how atheists think. Maybe you ought to spend some time with an atheist and become educated as to his or her thinking so you can come up with better slurs. Because honestly, when you say something like this, we start to wonder about you and your reasoning abilities. If you think atheists believe wishing makes things happen, when they have never said such nonsense? Then where did you get the idea? You came up with it yourself. Somehow it made sense to you. Thank you for watching.